Greetings and welcome. Welcome. So I decided to go live here, just random as I was pondering on some truths. And I thought, hey, whoever wants to pop in can pop in, and whoever has ears, let them hear. I'm going to wait about another 30 seconds and then I'll get started. All right. Well, welcome. Let's breathe into this moment of sharing. Deep inhale and exhale. We invite a spirit of wisdom, the spirit of understanding. We invite peace, and we invite our souls to open and show us what it is we need to see within ourselves. And I say, it is so. So today I was wanting, number one, to share the frequencies of the day. Over the last moon, I've been focusing on purifying speech, our who, um, activating our ka, hika, and shifting our sia, which are perceptions. And it's been a commitment of mine for this moon to share in different ways so that others can join in when they want to. As we are approaching the end of this 28-day cycle, I think it's important to reflect. These words, hu, sia, and hika, are Kemetic terms. As I've been in my own Kemetic study and applying Kemetic spirituality to our everyday existence. Sia, SIA, is our perception. Our perceptions govern our emotions in a deep way. If we look at what I mean by perception, it's the way you interpret situations. A lot of times we have negative perceptions or a proclivity toward negative perceptions. And it's the usual that we have to program ourselves toward a proclivity of mindfulness and presence. And notice I didn't go into a proclivity toward positivity because that can be just as destructive as negative thinking. But we want a proclivity toward mindfulness. What that looks like is understanding what is actually happening, not what we think about what is happening, what we fear about what is happening, how we interpret what is happening, but what actually is happening. So when we purify our perception, we make a commitment to plugging into the present moment through mindfulness. Most people don't understand that there is a world separate from their perceptions. For example, if I am sitting here in my truck, the sun is shining on my leg. The sun has a temperature, right? We understand that. Now, if I begin to interpret or put my mind on what is happening. I may say, the sun is shining on my leg and it's hot. I don't like this. Let me move. I think that's the only perception that exists when in reality, someone else could sit in the sun and feel the exact same temperature and say it feels perfect. So it's to our advantage to learn to plug into what is happening and then witness our perceptions to see how we want to move with them. I don't suggest we do away with perceptions, but I suggest that the perceptions exist to serve us versus we serve the perception. If we are serving the perception, we have a certain way of thinking that comes out of our autopilot. We feel a certain way, we act. But if the perception serves us, then I plug into the present moment. I see what is happening. Someone just said something. Someone said something in a loud tone. Their tone is louder now than it was. Then, if I feel upset about that, I can decide whether or not I want to be upset in that moment versus getting upset because I perceive that as disrespect. Now, that's me serving the perception. But the perception serving me is this person could be upset. How do I want to react to that? Are they really getting upset? Is their upset of importance to me? If so, what makes it so important? All of these things are crucial if we are interested in living an expanded life. Because as soon as we lend ourselves to offense, and thinking another person should be doing something other than what they're doing, then we begin to try to impose our perception on others in the world around, which leads to a great deal of suffering. One perception I was thinking about yesterday, in my experience of yesterday, was this idea that if someone isn't there offering something that we wanted or needed, then we are in lack or in some way we're slighted. The person did something wrong. If we lean into universal truth in a deep, deep way, and if we believe that everything is as it should be, then we also need to apply it in those spaces. And so that's why I entitled this talk Clearing Timelines, because there are timelines in your of you and your experiences where you have faulted someone for not being there. You have moved yourself into an energy of lack because someone didn't do something. And it's time to clear that timeline by applying the truth. Everything was exactly as it was supposed to be. Now, when you believe that deeply about these situations, you don't move into contraction, suffering, resentment, bitterness, and such. You move into a non attached way of looking at things and a very secure way of living. Because think about it, if someone wasn't there and that moved you into lack, then that also means when someone is there, if they leave, you need to be concerned because you might move into lack again. But if you understand that you are always in abundance, whether a person is here or not, then you can enjoy when they're there. And when they're not, you can still enjoy yourself or at least not move into lack. I hope what I'm saying is making sense. So I'm inviting you to revisit some timelines. It doesn't have to be years ago. It could be over the last 28 days or the last 2 moons or the last wave spell of 13 days and see where you need to clear that way of thinking from your timeline. The thinking of they weren't there, they didn't even do this, they couldn't even do that, they didn't even try, they didn't care enough. Clear that. Take a deep inhale. release it, and then insert truth. They were not there because they were not supposed to be. I have a deep, deep, deep reverence for universal orchestration. And I do believe in the deep way that nothing happens just by happening, nothing happens by coincidence. Everything has a purpose. Therefore, I need to plug into the purpose rather than the offense. I'm inviting you to clear some of your timelines. I'm going to end with the frequency of the day as according to the dream spell system, which is inspired by the Mayan Zokin. I am pulling up today, and today has to do with the yellow resonant warrior. I channel in order to question. That's exactly what we're doing here. We're questioning our perception. Inspiring fearlessness. In other words, we're moving up to courage. I seal the output of intelligence. I take in the universal truth, the universal intelligence, with the resonant tone of attunement. Attunement is the ability to perceive and be responsive to other people's emotional states and also situations. I'm guided by the power of elegance. There's flow. I am a galactic activation portal. Enter me. Today is a galactic activation portal. The ancient Mayans saw galactic activation portals as periods of heightened energies, heightened frequencies, meaning it's the veils between dimensions is so thin. And another way to say that is it's easier to move and fluctuate within states of being. So on galactic activation portals, we become very much more intentional about what we're plugging into, what we're giving our attention to, what we want to plug into, where we're going, what experience we are trying to have, and we plug into that. What are we bringing forward, calling forward within our realm? Those are galactic activation portals. This is also the second moon of the 13 moon cycle. It's important to know that this moon, as well as the last moon, the whole 28 days, are galactic activation portals. We're going to have 10 moons back to back that are categorized as galactic activation portals. So for the next 11 months, actually, you're going to be in periods of heightened frequencies, easier to move in and out of this or that. So, what are you choosing? You got to be real intentional, not in a scary way, in a creative way. And that is it. So, right now, we just give thanks for what has gone forward. I am thinking about posting this on YouTube. I'm not sure. But either way, I am grateful for your listening ear, and may this word accomplish what it was